Hello, everyone. And by everyone, I mean probably Jay. We're doing the last bit of Slay the Princess tonight. Whenever I end, I probably will also end stream because it's kind of been a weird week. Anyway, I am gonna try to get the Wild and the Gray Damsel version, which I believe are the last two I need, and get the Become as Gods ending, essentially. I will still have some achievements to do, but I know that this kind of stuff does get repetitive. I know that there's a lot of like little changes here and there of like the different voice lines and stuff like that, but it seems like it would be a lot of repetitiveness just to get to those small things and to get to the achievements. So I made the decision to just go ahead and not continue to do them on stream. But I do love this game. This game has been fantastic. I am very glad that I got to stream it for the amount of time that I did. And next week we will just have to see how I feel and if I want to start something else or go back to Yakuza or whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. Let's see. Whoops. I need to shrink me. Where am I at? I'm right there. Rinka's avatar is decidedly smaller. There. Pretend I have arms in there. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and load game. And I have... Oh, good lord, I'm on page 3. Okay,
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Okay, so I need to get the witch again. To get the next
You're here
one.
to slay her.
We're just gonna go.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess.
Proceed to the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The blade is your implement. You'll need it.
Enter the basement without the blade.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Chill out.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
Behave yourself, child.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever.
I see. You're trying to get her to lower her guard. It's a gamble, but it might work.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Wait a second. Hang on. Well, this is wild anyway, but I think... Oh no, I need prisoner version. I did damsel version. I need prisoner version. I think. Yes, because I did not get prisoner. Okay, so... Well, we'll do the wild first. Okay, let me check it again. Go back up to get your blade and don't lock the door.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
You were lying when you said you were here to rescue her, but regardless of your intentions, breaking her out of those chains would be a big mistake. Don't even try it.
Okay. Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late. Thank you. You turn back to the stairs, intent on retrieving the blade in the cabin.
That was a look.
So, what? You're going to try and kill me? You'll regret this. I promise you. But go ahead, run along and get whatever you're planning to get. But you'd better hope that I don't slip these chains before you make it back down here.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. She has to be bluffing, but hurry. You rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation. Okay, if we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all. You slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet. Where the princess sat only a moment ago,
Oh, God.
there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall. And she is nowhere to be seen. Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
Why don't you come closer? I have something to show you.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her. Where is she? As you step towards the severed limb, you hear the pattering of feet behind you, soft against the basement floor, then loud and desperate against the stairs. You turn to chase after the princess, but she's fast and has too much of a lead. She slams the door behind her before you can make it to the top of the stairs. The lock clicks into place. No!
Thanks for letting me out. I'd return the favor, but I think we both know that I can't trust you to let me stay free. You should understand. It just isn't worth the risk.
With those parting words, the princess walks away, her quiet footsteps eventually fading as she leaves you and the cabin to rot. You're stuck here, alone. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. You don't know how much time passes before the end, but eventually it comes. The world ends, and you end with it.
And I got the witch. Hi, witch.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, a warning before you go in. The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Gonna go to the mirror.
Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
Probably. I'm not
But
nasty.
you are. You're a wretched little thing. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it.
Oh my god, opportunist.
Do you remember us then? Do you remember Last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy.
We're not
Don't
gonna.
talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
I didn't do shit to you last time. You're the one who locked me away.
That is an exceptionally good point.
And you were the conniving beast that left in search of steel to slay me. Just because I won and you lost doesn't mean I'm to blame for bad blood.
Also a good point.
Opportunist, please shut up.
She can't even hear you. Why are you trying to brown-nose her?
Yeah, thank you, Hero.
I'm not brown-nosing anyone. I'm just taking a fair and balanced approach and hearing out everything that everyone has to say. If she's in the wrong, then you don't have anything to worry about.
But I must confess, this place never let me out into the world. While you were gasping your last down below, I was trying to claw and bash and break my way out. But I never did manage to be free. Until finally, I found myself here again, and you were gone. It seems that you get to come and go as you please, so you may be a bigger part of the answer to this riddle than I'd like you to be. Maybe bygones can be bygones.
Sadly not this time, as much as I love you, witch.
But you'll have to let me out first.
Not happening. I'd like to be straightforward with my intentions. I didn't care for how you treated me last time, but I think you might be a danger to the world. I'm going to attack you now. Well, might as well be straightforward about it. Actually, hang on. Just in case. Just in case.
Do you think that being direct with your ill will frees you from its wickedness?
No.
Murder and betrayal are still murder and betrayal, whether you state your intentions or keep them hidden behind your back.
See, this is why we never tell people what we're actually thinking. She's just as mad, only now she's ready for us.
Still, better a violent fool than a plotting coward. Better for me, I mean.
As you close the distance, readying your strike, the princess's chain falls from her wrist.
Knives out and masks off, directly to attack a suspicious character.
She takes advantage of your split second of surprise and throws a fistful of dirt into your eyes.
Rude.
She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. It's a shame we're playing opposite teams.
Oh my god,
This is why you couldn't just abandon her here. Left to her own devices, she would always find a way out. Now stop her!
You must have known I would be ready for you. Deep in your heart, you know the same things about me I know about you. We're both so very awful.
As you brush the silt from your eyes, the princess tackles you, flattening you against the dirt floor.
We were always going to kill each other here, weren't we? I can't trust you, and you can't trust me, and those doubts spin and spin and spin into hate.
She buries her teeth deep into your chest, tearing at... Great, she's distracted! Stab her in the back! In for a penny, right? Why not? As the princess rips meat from bone, you plunge your weapon into her unprotected back.
Ha, you bastard! Even face to face, you find a way to stab me in the back. I know you, and you're hideous, absolutely wretched. Just like me.
Maybe we are the same. So what? Throw her off us. Kick her in the shins.
Kick her in the
We
shins.
don't have to fight so dirty. Of course we do. Fighting clean won't help us win. It takes a wretch to know a wretch, and we're all at the bottom of the barrel here. There's no point in pretending otherwise.
For once, he actually has a good and correct point.
Are we? At the bottom of the barrel? We've got dirt in our eyes and a chunk of us chewed out. If that's not the bottom of the barrel, what is? No arguments here. You're doing great. Keep playing dirty if that's what it takes. But if we win, we won't be at the bottom anymore. We'll have climbed a little higher. And once we start climbing, well, who knows where we'll stop? You'll stop right here if you keep daydreaming. Don't let yourself get distracted thinking about what comes after. None of us ever said we stopped fighting. But what a low and vicious fight it is. Eyes gouged, skin scratched bloody, hair ripped and nails broken. Every rule there ever was in the Book of Honourable Combat. Both you and the princess have broken a dozen times over. That's nice and all, but are we winning? Nobody's winning. I thought playing dirty was supposed to give you the upper hand, but I suppose that doesn't work if you both sink to the same lows. Still, at least you're not losing. The princess cackles maniacally as the fracas continues. But behind her cackle, you hear the low groan of warping wood. Wait, what's going on? We're establishing a newer, better pecking order. No, the groaning thing. Why is the wood making noise? Who cares about the groan? It's just a sound. Things make sounds all the time.
Oh my god, opportunist, you idiot.
I care about the groan. Doesn't that mean something bad is happening? Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid that's the sound of the basement getting smaller.
Do you hear that, you pathetic wretch? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
Excuse me, what? You and the princess disengage for a brief moment, just long enough to get your bearings. Behind you, the basement door has been sealed over, thick roots barring your only exit from the dirt pit. And slowly, but very perceptibly, the roots are closing in on you both.
That's right. They're coming for you, and they won't stop until there's nothing left down here but them. I could, but who says I want to? As long as you suffer while you die, I'll gladly suffer with you. Especially if I get to see it happen.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she'd kill us both just to spite me.
I can.
See? This is exactly why you've been tasked to slay her. She's an antisocial monster who will gladly burn the whole world for her satisfaction.
Okay, that's a little mean, narrator.
The roots grow ever closer.
The only world she wants to destroy is the one around us right now. And that's just because she's petty. Which I love.
We know. We can see them.
Oh, what's the matter? You're scared of a few thorny roots digging into your neck? Scared of suffocating in this dark, dark place as I watch you die? Good.
That one made me feel bad inside. I don't want people to think we're scared. Nobody likes someone who's scared of things. I, for one, think this is a perfectly reasonable situation to be scared in. This is starting to hurt. I don't want to die like this. You feel something against your back. A thick root pushing its way into the cavern. An unstoppable, unyielding wall of bark. You're running out of time. Shit. What do we do? What do we do? We should probably get back to stabbing. The only way out of this is through her, right? You attack the princess once more, and once more the two of you fall into a vicious brawl. The basement continues to shrink as you fight, but neither of you pay it any more mind. Not until it's too late. The roots twist around you both, binding your limbs and rendering you helpless. As your fates close in, all you can do is watch her, and all she can do is watch you. At first it's almost gentle, the two of you lifted delicately off the ground, but the cradle of the growing roots soon gives way to tightness, and that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out
This
by the
gets
snaps
nasty,
and
just
pops
as a
of your bones,
warning.
pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living basement. Tears well up in the princess's eyes, her own bones splintering and flesh swelling with trapped blood. But still she smiles through it all.
I can't wait to do this again, you wretched little thing. I hate you, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Pressure is unbearable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding as everything tightens. And then you
die.
pop.
Or you pop and then
Everything
you die.
goes dark. And you die.
Yay, I got the wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here?
So many.
I think this is our third? That's bad. That's
it's
very,
a mix of a
very
bunch of the
bad.
different
It wasn't even
songs.
supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
Gotten crushed. Quite literally.
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do?
That mixing is really good.
Sure, there's no reason to keep secrets. Someone decided to go in guns blazing last time, and that someone got us killed.
Opportunities, you were like half involved in that at the very least, because you're always at least half involved in something. So, again, shut up.
And what should we have done?
Hi, Stone.
Let you draw things out with all that conniving. Everyone knows a straight fight is best. It's honest. There's no need to bicker about it. I wasn't trying to start anything. I don't mind what happened to us. I kind of like it now that we aren't actively being crushed. Yeah, now that you mention it, this isn't so bad. And it's not like the fight is what killed us anyway, it was the cabin. No point worrying about who charged who when that place ground us all into paste in the end. The princess included.
Yeah.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to help you. That's not an answer to our question.
Certainly isn't.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves apart.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
I don't.
He
I
does.
want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together.
No, narrator, I'm not terribly convinced that you don't want us both to die, especially considering how the quote-unquote good end is supposed to be. At the end of it all, I'm still out of, well, the hero is still out of the way. Like, you either send me into essentially nothingness for the rest of eternity, or I die somehow. Like, after all of these, I don't trust you. You're an echo of something I don't want.
She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Spoken like, honestly, a real puppet master. Have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
Oh, you're going against her, opportunist?
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us. It feels mutual.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart.
Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it.
Hold yourself together. We're no strangers to effort. We can push this back down. Something might do us in eventually, but I'll be damned if that something is a thought.
Oh. There are feathers there. Were there always? No, I don't think there were always feathers there. Always feathers there. I can English. I need to find her to be able to take her, so I think I need to go.
Please, don't make us remember how we were.
And just like that, you start to fall apart.
Right, she really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me. We never got to see the end of that fight, did we? We can't both be winners. One of us has to beat the other, right?
I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered. And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. And you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better. Finally, I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
I wish I didn't have to.
Some division,
Ooh.
when sown,
Some tears can never be
truly
mended.
be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
This doesn't feel like a fight. This isn't what I wanted. Where's the victory in this? Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? We'd just be sitting on a hill.
Do we have to do this? You have to. You know you have to.
I never wanted to kill you, not really, but we can't be the same thing as each other. I had to put an end to whatever happened to us. I'm gonna cut you
Devious
free.
little bastard. If you think I'm going to let you free her, you have another thing coming. And that other thing is... we'll just have to wait and find out when it happens.
Waiting?
Just ignore him. What's he gonna do? Lecture us into submission? He can talk all he wants. He's weak. Thinks he can boss us around when he doesn't have any authority. We're clearly the ones with authority around here, so we can do whatever we like.
You're tired, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm... fine. Whatever. You cut the princess down from the roots that bind her. I hope you're happy. Good luck getting her out of here.
I didn't think you would do that after everything. It's so cold without you.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Technically it
Screw the mirror.
is.
We just need to find the princess. If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
See you on the other side. Except I won't.
If you say so.
At least not for a
We'll
little
try.
while.
Maybe there'll be a good fight there. Maybe we'll find her again.
Finally, we're going places.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
Where is... Oh, what do you think of this vessel?
This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart. Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for. We will know when we near our destination.
I think I'll have to bring her to you more. I always lose track when I do it in between streams. Anyway, I'm ready to go back.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
And I die. And I bring the wounded wild to her. I did not know that was her name.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
So I need the prisoner. So, take the blade, save the princess, and resist. We'll see
You're
if
here
it'll
to
happen.
slay her.
Yep. Go to the cabins. I don't
You
have
make your
anything
way
new
up
to say
the
to
short
you.
path. A warning.
She will lie to you. We'll take the blade and she'll be
The
unsure.
interior of the blade is...
Take the blade.
You take the blade from... The door to the base... Her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. Don't let it fool you. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Kind of. Not gonna do it intentionally this time.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her. You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
I love how nonchalant she is about it.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance.
Yup.
If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
won't like what happens if you do that.
Gonna do it anyway.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me. Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
Don't wanna.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Prisoner, yay.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to sleep. Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around.
Skeptic.
I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way
Oh,
for us
pardon
and for the
me.
princess.
I
Just
am
have to keep
gross.
trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it.
That is...
I'm a professional, after all.
And yet, one of the reasons you would potentially have us be killed is because we said something mean to you. Professional. Sure.
Sure you are.
Skeptic gets it.
Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself? Or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
I can't remember how to get it. Get the check your pocket. And with the note it says, like, in our handwriting, it's like, the princess is going to destroy the world. This is an immutable fact. Basically the license to do anything kind of gag. But I don't remember how to get it, so we're just gonna go to the cabin. I keep yawning, good
warning.
lord.
Before you go any further.
Hi.
She will lie? Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison.
Well, he actually mentions windows this time.
The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I can't remember. I have to slay her, I think. Yes, I have to slay her. Sorry, prisoner. I'm gonna do the... Gotta do the mirror.
Walk up to the
I
wall
know
next
nothing
to the
comes of it, but I
basement
gotta
door.
do the mirror.
What are you talking about? You reach forward and rub your hand, but there was a... and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone.
Sorry, just a moment.
Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
She
looks
looks
up
so
at you,
small like that.
the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it? It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Sure. Oh, I can't remember if I... Do I still get the chance to slay her? Quick save real quick, because I do want to sit with her for a minute.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
Okay, I do have the option to slay still.
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading?
You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
Unfortunately, this time it kind of is.
Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things.
It's complicated things how, exactly?
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles.
I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
That's pathetic.
I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
I won't.
Fine, but you won't get another word from me on the matter.
Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
Well, unfortunately, prisoner, in order to get the one that I want, that I haven't seen yet, I have to do this. I'm sorry.
I am not a damsel to be helplessly murdered.
As you move to strike the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists. In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly.
Drop it, or you die.
I thought this was going to be a safe move, but she's going to kill us again. Just listen to her, do what she says. How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you. You steel your will and refuse to give in to the princess's demands, ignoring the stars dancing in your eyes and the screaming of your starved lungs. You strike. You fumble your first few attempts, only making surface-level scratches and gouges as your arm flails forward, barely able to obey you. But a single focused blow was all it took. Your blade pierces up through her ribs, slicing through flesh, striking her heart. The chains loosen. The darkness creeping in at the edges of your vision subsides.
None of this was ever very fair, was it? But I did kill you last time. I should have expected you might want some petty revenge. Unfortunately for you, that means you've dug your own grave. You can forget about me ever helping you again, even if it damns us both.
And just like that, the princess is slain
Coldly
and the
rational,
world is
dispatch a
saved.
prisoner.
Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
I don't like this. It was too easy.
It was not too easy. We almost died. That's right. This was an incredibly difficult task, and you performed it admirably. Let's just get out of here. I don't like looking at her body. Plus, he said there'd be a reward. I'd appreciate a reward right about now.
You have the attention span of a fly. How are we supposed to unravel the mysteries of this place if you're so easily distracted by empty promises?
It's better to have a short attention span in a situation like this. There's no use dwelling on the past, especially when it's already set in stone. And especially when your promised reward is not, in fact, empty and is worth all the adversity you've been through to get here.
It's not.
Fine. But if we're leaving, then we're taking the blade. I feel exposed without it.
With your work done, you remove the blade from the princess's corpse and make your way back upstairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. You can think of it as sealing yourself off from an unpleasant chapter of your life. It's all
The windows.
Whoops.
Do you see that? We used to be able to see the outside world from up here, but now it's just empty. The door. Check the door.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
You bastard.
You don't have to act surprised. We could see this vast emptiness through the windows.
But if everything's gone, does that mean we're not gonna get our reward?
Oh, poor you.
This is your reward. An eternity of bliss, if you'll have it. And I suggest that you have it.
Narrator. It is not a
Okay.
reward. Like, why do you even think that's a reward?
This is what's best for everyone. Trust me.
Like hell it is.
What's done is done. And there's no going back now. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days, or months, or years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur.
Decades? No, it can't be decades. We can't go along with this. We can't let him win.
Yeah, I mean, I have to continue on anyway, so. Narrator, really? It is
You
a terrible
goddamn
reward.
spiteful bastard. Are you really going to turn down immortality itself just to make me lose?
No, I'm going to turn down immortality itself because this is not what I wanted.
Why should it matter if we die at this point? Haven't you already gotten what you want?
I don't have to answer that.
That's all we needed to hear.
You raise the blade, then drive it into your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You collapse to the floor, everything goes dark, and you die. You're a genocidal maniac, you know that, right?
I'm the maniac for not wanting eternity.
Yeah, We'll see about that.
And I got the gray.
You're on a
Oof.
path in the woods. See, that wasn't so bad. And now we've got another chance to get to the bottom of things. Bit by bit, we're starting to unravel this place. There are so many more threads to pull once you stop feeling.
So I got cold for that one.
That's a little dark, buddy. You feeling okay? I'm feeling nothing. And I like that just fine. He's not wrong. Sentimentality won't help us here. We need scientific rigor. So you've been here before. Of course you've been here before. What count is it this time? 2? It's our 3rd. What gave it away? Your open discussions. The last time we were here, you were in full-blown denial about the possibility of us restarting. What changed? Have you just been pretending to forget? I'm afraid not. Whatever other versions of me you've met in those other lifetimes were just that. Other versions of me. I just wish I'd been the first.
Okay. Pause here real quick. I am going to BRB because I want to go get food. I am very hungry. And I will be back momentarily. And back.
So you knew how all this worked. Why didn't you ever tell us? We could have used it to our advantage.
It's not like
Whoop.
it was that difficult to slay her last time. She may have put up a fight, but her flesh is still softer than our blade.
Because there's no using it to your advantage. The more information you have, the harder it'll be for you to succeed.
And now she's dead, and I doubt she'll be able to do much of anything from the grave.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure about that, Cold.
You already slew her, and you survived.
Yes.
Then why, pray tell, are you here?
Oh, I know that one. We killed ourselves. Why?
Because you thought trying to stuff us away in a corner for eternity was a suitable reward.
Exactly. Cold gets it.
Was it not? What better reward is there than eternal bliss? You should have been happy.
It's not bliss.
We weren't. We were bored.
You were bored. I was just unhappy.
There were still answers that we needed to find.
It was actually working. And you killed yourself. I can't believe it. You ruined everything.
Shouldn't have put this on something with free will.
How does us dying ruin everything? What aren't you telling us?
It just does. And I'm not telling you lots of things, but it's for your own good. It's for the good of everyone.
It seems to me like keeping secrets didn't help you last time, so you should start talking.
Fine, the world doesn't stay saved if you die.
And if the world isn't saved, then that means she is dead.
Oh, now isn't that interesting? I assumed she'd just be a pile of old bones. But perhaps she's not. There's only one way to find out. We should go see her.
Let's try something different this time. We've already seen what happens when we slay her, and I'm not convinced that's a way out for us. I'm not even convinced there is a world to save. Yes, things are different, aren't they?
If this isn't the same path in the woods you're used to, that means that her influence is already spreading and you're running out of time.
Except if we slay her again, we'll just go to eternity again. And it's just gonna keep going and going and going.
Influence? What's that supposed to mean?
It means exactly what I said. Don't overthink it, or you run the risk of making your task so much more difficult than it has to be.
Narrator, we just told you that we did not like the reward. We don't want eternity. We don't want your quote-unquote bliss. What makes you think that we're going to follow your rules and instructions this time?
And what is that supposed to mean?
Forget I said anything. I've probably already made things worse, and I need to stop talking about this now before I definitely make things worse. Oh, come on, tell us your secrets. Haven't we been through enough? Don't we deserve to know?
I think we do.
No.
Rude.
Is there a reason it would be raining?
If there is, it doesn't matter. If a bit of rain is the best her influence can conjure, then we have nothing to worry about. A drenched corpse is still a corpse. She'll find a way out eventually and the world will still end. The only way this resolves is if you find her and slay her before that happens.
We already know he wants us to slay her. Anything he says is tainted by his motivations.
Turn around and leave, go to the cabin. I'm fine with either. So long as we don't just do the same thing again. That would be boring.
I'm sure you've already heard my words of warning in one of your past lives. You've already managed to slay her once, just don't muck it up this time, alright? What we do is entirely up to us.
And we have all those mysteries to unravel. Isn't that right?
You aren't here to solve a mystery, you're here to save the world.
No, at this point, kind of seems like one and the same.
That's what you say. But how can we be sure?
We can't be sure of anything except what's right in front of us.
Okay, but we should care about the fate of the world.
Why?
Because we should. I don't know. It's important.
Is it?
Yes. I think.
Don't let them make you second guess yourself. The fate of the world is the most important thing there is. For all we know, the world you're talking about isn't even real.
Of course it's real. Where do you think you are? Somewhere else?
Kinda, yeah.
Maybe we are.
This is horribly unproductive. The cabin and your extremely important destiny await.
As soon as you enter the cabin, you're struck by an overwhelming scent of decay, of mold and death and stagnant water. The once stately wooden building is bloated, its beams dripping with a black ooze of putrefaction, all but the exterior stone walls warped beyond recognition. It must have been beautiful once, but in its ruin, it is beyond repulsive. But you're not alone.
Hello.
You can feel something watching you. There is a figure faintly outlined against the rotting wood of the wall. Is that her? It's like she isn't even there.
See? We killed her.
You're right. Maybe she doesn't reset like us. She certainly doesn't look the same as she did last time. Before you can make a move, the figure is gone, vanishing behind the door on the far side of the room.
The door at the end of the room, but there isn't a door. It's just that damn mirror again.
Yes, the mirror that he can't see.
The mirror? Is this some kind of joke? Did you all plan this out before dying? There is no mirror. There's the door to the basement, the table, and the pristine blade. Huh. That's strange. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade?
Maybe it's gone because we've already killed her with it.
But we had it with us when we died. And besides, everything else has reset. Why wouldn't the blade have reset too?
Maybe it's because we've already explored that avenue. We've seen what happens when we slay her. Maybe this place has decided we don't need to try that again.
I suppose it doesn't matter why the blade is gone, but you're going to have to find it if you're going to do this right. So why don't you march over to that door and make your way down to the basement?
If this is anything like last time, the mirror will disappear as soon as we try and touch it. I'm sure the door is just behind it.
You're clearly hallucinating, but I'd rather not get into it with you right now. The door to the basement is on the far side of the room, whether you can see it or not. You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You must think you're looking at that mirror you mentioned earlier, the one that doesn't exist. Just reach forward and open the door. It's still so hazy. We should try and clean it off.
Yes. Trying to touch it does seem to be the magic spell to get it out of our way.
Maybe it won't disappear this time and we'll finally get a good look at ourselves. We should explore every option.
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement.
The handle is just a little to your right, and a little down.
Smartass.
Yeah, we can see it now.
So much for our reflection. We didn't need to see ourselves anyway. I'm much more interested in seeing other things.
No way left to go but down.
Mm-hmm.
The door to the basement groans open. The air is foul and wet, so thick that you can almost feel it settle onto your skin in layers of grime. The stairs are coated with slimy algae, the wood rotted through in places, reeking of fetid vegetation. A wispy figure watches you from the bottom of the stairs, face veiled in shadows, legs submerged up to her shins in dark waters. There she is again. Barely.
She's just an old memory.
Your eyes lock for a brief moment, then she vanishes around the corner. You receive no response. Do you think she's upset with us? I don't like being here unarmed after what happened last time. I feel so exposed. She doesn't seem fully there. I'm not sure she's even capable of being upset. You aren't helping.
Are you scared of a little ghost? What's she going to do? Look at us until we feel bad? She can look all she wants. It won't do anything.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A bloated body floating face down in slowly rising waters. Her wrist still bound to the wall by a heavy chain. This cell is a dark and isolated place, with not so much as a window to allow starlight to penetrate the gloom.
See? She's dead.
She's not just dead. It looks like she's been rotting. So killing her does stick. Mostly. But if she's dead, then what are we supposed to do? She isn't dead. You clearly just believe she is. Her corpse is floating right in front of us. You can stop it with the mind games. If she's dead, then do we even have to do anything? How can she be a threat to the world like this? Your thoughts are cut short by the sound of a slamming door and a clicking lock. You turn to see the shade of the princess staring down at you from the top of the stairs. So that's where the blade is. It's already in her heart. And yet she isn't dead.
She is dead. Have you never heard of a ghost before?
Oh, for the love of... Can we not waste time arguing over the semantics of what is and isn't dead? She is clearly conscious. She clearly just slammed the door on you, and she clearly has a weapon. Your pristine blade sticking out of her chest. This is extremely bad. Catastrophic, even.
Okay, but, I mean, really, the fact that to get this ending you still have to go through with the, oh, you slayed her, so your reward is eternity, and then when you kill yourself to come back to get the gray, the narrator is still like, okay, well, you have to slay her again, because if you die, then the world isn't safe anymore, and it's like, so my choices are repeating this over and over and over again, or eternity. So it's like, you know what? How about an everyone sucks in this situation? I like that rating.
Yeah, dead or not, what are we supposed to do about her? Slaying, or destroying, if we want to be a little more death neutral, seems off the table. Yeah, this is tricky. But let's talk to her. See what kind of information she has that we don't. But she hasn't said anything. Are you sure she can talk like this?
Bold of you to come back here after what you did.
She can talk.
But she doesn't answer your question. All she does is watch you in shadowed silence. Do you hear that trickling sound? The water's rising, isn't it? It is. and it's rising fast.
Oh, that's interesting. We've never drowned before. I wonder how it'll feel.
Bad, I bet. I don't think dying ever feels good.
Yes, how astute. Dying is bad and you should avoid it.
How about you stop trying to talk to her and do something instead?
Pathetic.
The water is rising faster now. It's flowing in from some unseen place, and judging by the height of the algae on the stairs, it has no intention of stopping anytime soon.
Still a dick. Narrator is still a dick. 100%.
So cold that it steals the very warmth from your flesh, leaving a smothering numbness in its place. Are you really just going to stand there and let yourself die? Yeah, let's think. Where is it coming from? It's coming from some unseen place. Does it really matter where it's coming from? Because I can feel it rising. I don't think we have much time to sleuth. Yes, it matters. Maybe we can find a way out. Maybe we can figure out a way to make this work. This is just a puzzle. We can solve it.
Skeptic, this isn't Zelda.
Some things aren't puzzles to be solved. Sometimes you're doomed from the start. Most people are.
You kind of could with the wild in the sense of, like, you still get goaded into separating by him, but then you could literally turn around and be like, well, I'm still rescuing what's left of the princess, essentially. So that's kind of a fuck you to him, at the very least. Sadly, I don't think there's ever going to be a proper dialogue option of, shut up, narrator.
Yes, most people are doomed, but in case you need reminding, everyone will be doomed forever unless you stop her.
Gonna rush for the door.
The princess eyes you with a disaffected gaze as you rush up the stairs, but you don't make it past the first few steps. The door bursts open, a powerful wave of water crashing down towards you. You're swept up in the flood. Your head slams into the basement wall. You come to a moment later, suspended in darkness, disorientated, only aware of the surface of the water and the emptiness above. And of course, the princess, hovering above you, watching in silence as you struggle to stay afloat in the icy depths. There's no way out. It's so dark and cold, I think our limbs are slowing down. How much longer can we do this? Just keep breathing, we'll figure this out.
Or we won't. It doesn't matter either way.
But you don't have time to figure anything out. Something cold and clammy wraps around your ankle. You're dragged under, only able to take one last hopeful gulp of air before your head is plunged into the freezing depths. As you sink below the surface, you see it. Or rather, you see her.
No.
The body you found floating when you first arrived, its hand is locked around your ankle, the heavy chains pulling you both down into the unfeeling, suffocating nothingness.
Sorry, prisoner.
I get it. We shouldn't have killed her. Just get it away from us, please.
The past is the past. There's no changing it. There's nothing to fix.
And there's not a lot we can do about the present either. Not unless we think, like we should have been doing all along. But there is no thinking as you drown. You desperately try to pull yourself back to the surface again, and again, and again. Your icy limbs flailing desperately against the grip of her rotting corpse. And all the while her ghastly figure stares down at you, expressionless, as unfeeling as the weight around your ankle.
Your lungs fill with water the same as mine filled with blood. In the end, we're not so different.
And then she gets taken. But your lungs don't fill, nor will they ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns.
Where did... there's that. But it feels so bad.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
Okay. If you say so, we'll trust you.
Feels too good to be true.
And I am unraveled, so I need one more.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it. This one is guarded sorrow. She saw herself as alone, but in the end had the courage to share with another. She will make for a deep heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally been heard.
Oh.
One, whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
And I die. And I brought the drowned gray to her.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
I don't know which ones I haven't brought to her. Oh, you can't take adversary to her, apparently. Trying to gives you the fury. You can't. And the tower gives you slay either the fury or the apotheosis. I could take the den to her. I could do the beast. Okay, let me see. Let's see if I can do the beast then. So, don't take the blade. Decide to slay. Go back for the blade. Lock the door. I'm just gonna skip this. Silently continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short.
Skip. Proceed.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Lock her in the basement. I could do the nightmare because I know there's a certain part in there that's Jay's favorite. So I somehow have to save the nightmare. Okay, so go to the cabin and just lock her in the basement.
The blade is your implement.
Skip. Basement.
The door to the basement creaked, her voice softly.
Hello?
Don't let it... Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains? Okay. Would everything feel right about you if you were locked away in a hole by yourself for as long as you can remember?
I think I insulted her a
How
little
long
bit.
has she been down here?
So, did they tell you why I'm supposed to be so dangerous?
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Ugh, feels gross siding with him after all of this.
What if they're bad reasons, though? If they had good reasons for thinking I was dangerous, wouldn't they have shared them with you? I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to leave. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me.
Oh god. I hate doing this. It makes
This
my
is about
heart
how
hurt.
messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
You call her a subjugating monarch, but the princess isn't supposed to have that much power. Like, wouldn't it be more concerning if she was a queen? At that point, I would be a little more inclined to believe you. Unfortunately, I'm having to act like I believe you because I have to get something. Alright, well. I'm going to keep you locked away down here, at least for a little bit. We can get to know each other better. Yeah. Sorry.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
Locking you in the
I
basement.
know you think this is some kind of fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here.
It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work if we just stay here and keep watch. No one has to die.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way back to the stairs.
Fine. Turn your back on me. But it won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing.
Either way, she dropped the mask, didn't she? You can still grab the blade and get back down here. You'll be the death of all of us, but fine. We'll do it your way. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade.
Okay, we can make this work.
You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare.
As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker.
No, it doesn't.
I can be innocent and harmless, if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way.
Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach.
Whose side are you on?
Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only help me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Yeah, not this time.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends.
I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the wood. A warning. Before she will lie.
I don't think lying and cheating is a thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away.
It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone.
It's your boy.
The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway.
Hang on. Bring the nightmare to the shifting man by leaving the cabin with her. Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to leave the cabin with her. Hey, demons, it's your boy, the paranoid.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Hold on. What happened to the door? It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it.
Approach the
You
mirror,
walk up to
because
the
I
wall
always
next to the empty
do.
basement door frame. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. You reach forward and rub. Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad.
Okay, I'm gonna quick save. Because I don't
You
know
reach
if I
down
need to
and
take
pick
the blade for
up off the
this.
floor. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Steel can't lie to us.
Poke, 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 poke.
Is it gonna be enough, though? Couldn't you have given us something else? Something, I don't know, better than a knife? Could we have a bomb? The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in yourself. Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death. You cross over the threshold and
I
onto a
forgot
series
about
of
the eyes.
isolated steps, suspended in darkness.
Blinky, blinky eyes.
More eyes, too. You never mention the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Come back? She must have you confused with someone else.
Nope.
You really don't remember, do you? It doesn't matter, we need a game plan. We know we can't just go down there unprepared.
How hard is it to throw a knife?
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good. Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway.
She will be keen if I promise to get her out of
You
here.
make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
You turn to the left. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow. This is it, isn't it?
And you brought a little knife with you. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think. Think! What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open.
What are you doing?
I'm working! Do you want this body to function, or do you want...
Okay, whatever you were doing,
Nope.
please just start doing it again.
You sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more? You have seconds left.
Yes, I'm sure.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. Why? The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission. Your weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her and end this before it's too late. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
I tried to leave while you suffocated, but that stupid cabin wouldn't let me. So I started to drag your body out with me, and then... well, you died before I could get to the door. And then I was here, and now you're here too. I don't think I can live without you. And dead doesn't count. And as much as I love what we have going on, I have bigger plans than tormenting one poor little creature forever. I want to leave.
Liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver,
I am being nice. You're alive, aren't you?
Barely.
nerves, heart, lungs.
And you died of fright as soon as you saw me last time. I didn't think keeping you alive was an option. But it looks like that's not a problem anymore. At least not for me. You seem miserable.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
Like I said, I am what I am. And right now, I'm in control. So, you might want to be a little nicer to me.
She raises one long gloved finger, its tip hovering just over your skin, seeming to enjoy the lingering threat. But she withdraws, sparing you another momentary glimpse of death. Liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves,
I'm glad you're seeing things my way.
nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves. What? No!
I knew you'd come around. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Before you can utter another word, your body stops moving, and... Do you think you can just wrest control away from us? This body's barely functioning as it is. Doesn't the world end if we fail to stop her? Won't letting us die here just make it end faster? Shit.
Fuck you, narrator.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. With a flick of the princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to torment and oblivion.
Go ahead. I'll be right behind you.
Heart. I wouldn't trust having our back to her.
You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the feedback, just
focus on keeping us alive. Right. Besides, I get the feeling she's telling the truth. She needs us alive. You place a shaky foot on the first step and begin
I
your
may have
ascent
taken her
from
out
the
already,
basement.
but you know what? It's fine.
You can feel the
I just
static
needed one more
prickling of
anyway.
the princess on your neck, your limbs buzzing with pins and needles. An uncomfortable and constant reminder that you exist, and that your existence is so very precarious.
You're almost there.
The only thing left between you and the cabin is the now shut door to the basement. It would be a real shame if it had locked behind you. Oh, you snake. There wasn't even a door when we first got here. The door was from last time. I told you we shouldn't trust him. I know he's messing with us, but you can't lose your cool. We need you right now. Remember? Yes, I remember. Of course I remember. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. This is so frustrating. Thank you. And you? You'd really rather us die down here than let her out? Of course I would. As much as I want you to have a happy ending, the fate of the world is a little more important, and you still have a weapon. You can still make this right.
You haven't even tried it. It'll open. You just have to give it a tug.
You pull against the door. The lock gently clicks open in response to your effort, and the door creaks on its hinges. This isn't right. That's not even the way it's supposed to swing. It's supposed to swing out.
I did take her last time, but that's okay. Or not last time. I think I took her
Really as powerful as you'd have us
first
think,
episode, maybe
are
second
you?
episode. But I don't mind redoing this one again because I love Paranoid.
Anyways, like he said, you're not really in control here, are you? I never said I was. If I was in control here, why would I need you to slay her? I don't know. Secret reasons?
The door is open. What are you dawdling for? It's time for us to go. The world is waiting.
The princess moves past you and into the cabin. This is it. This is your final moment to make things right. Kill her. I thought you wanted us to slay her. It's the same thing. Do it. Do it now. Do it now, or everything is over.
Aaron's all nangy. I think he needs a nap.
Okay, what do we do? I said, what do we do? Oh, do you want to hear from me now? Yes. Well, I thought you needed me to run the autonomic nervous system. We do, but this is important. Look, I'll even do it myself. Just tell us who to trust. Brain? Heart. Right, heart. Lungs. Lungs. Liver. Nerves. Okay, thanks. I got it. Heart. Lungs.
He's so unsure about it.
Nerves. You're terrible at this. I know. Doing my best.
What are you doing?
Heart. Lungs. Liver. Finally, I can talk. Now, what were you asking me? Running everything kind of feels like popping in and out of consciousness. It's easy to lose track of things. They were asking you for your blessing to trust me. Oh, that's right. Yeah, fuck this guy. Don't trust him.
Fuck this guy, don't trust him.
So you'd have them trust her? Oh, of course not. Can't trust anybody here but ourselves, but I guess that leaves us back where we started, doesn't it? I suppose if I had to make a choice, I'd pick the one that doesn't make our organs shut down. Thank you for your gracious show of support, but that's a marginal preference. We'll have to deal with him later. I'd just rather deal with him while our organs are intact. Whatever. You heard what he had to say, so whether you trust me or not, killing her is still the best, nay, the only option you have worth taking. Alright, I'm done. You can let me take over again. Finally, that was awful. I really don't know how you do it.
You've been standing there staring blankly for a while now, and I have to say my patience is running a little thin. So don't make a lady wait any longer, okay? Open the door!
The doorknob
Oh,
twists
okay, no,
in
I
your
hadn't let her
hand.
out. Alright. Let your
revealing the
terrors loose
forested
upon the
path
world.
beyond the cabin. No, you bastard. You've actually done it, Liver. You've actually done it.
Bye, narrator.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to ruin it.
You
But
won't.
it's so cold, too. It's itching against my skin.
The princess exhausted slumps to the ground.
Why is it so cold?
It's so cold. Why is it so cold?
She's gone. And there's that. But it feels so bad. It's calling us. And not in a good way. Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. Can we trust you?
Yep. It's only cold if she's getting pulled to the shifting mound.
I think you know what I am.
Maybe she doesn't feel cold the same way we do. Bring the nightmare to her. Hello.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly. Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echoes spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation? Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final piece lies with you.
You fall into yourself. The body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation, and you feel sensation in limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything here, except for her, is you. You feel your wings spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonized tension to a finite plane. You can feel the glass of your cage pressing in on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back and strain against it, but it does not yield.
I love you.
All at once, the unyielding tension breaks. Whoa. You are free, and she is with you.
It's magnificent.
There are no words, no thoughts to describe absolute reality, something that simply is.
Everything. Just like it always has been.
It's like growing
And just
grass in
like
the
it
background.
always will
That's so
be.
cool. Step into the infinite. You and she step forward into 1,000 dawns and 1,000 sunsets, each of which contains 1,000 more. You exist and you are aware, just as you have always been, and just as you always will be. Though conflict is in your nature, the two of you will never be alone, and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. There are no endings, only new beginnings. And that is the last ending that I'm going to get. There are obviously other ways that the routes can go, other dialogue. I do believe there is a couple other endings. But again, as I was saying before, I don't want to just have to keep repeating the game over and over and over again on stream. Also, I think, to a certain extent, I would like other people to be able to experience it as on their own. So, you know what? I'm just going to say it right now. If you have the chance, buy Slay the Princess by Black Tabby Games. It is incredible. I really, really enjoyed it. I think they did a fantastic job. The artwork was amazing. The horror aspects were great. The romance aspects were great. The voices were amazing. The two voice actors that were in this did amazing bang-up jobs. Like, wonderful ways of distincting themselves with the different characters and yet still, being them. So, yeah, I'd say buy it if you haven't yet. Support Black Tabby Games. Support indie games in general. And we will see what I'll be back with on Wednesday. I'm going to leave that up there for a moment while I go see anybody. Oh, hi, Rico. Oh, excuse me. I said hello to her and she left. I don't know why. Apparently that's just the mood she's in tonight. I would raid Danny, but he doesn't really respond to raids. kind of amused that there actually are people still playing Raft. I don't know what Ready or Not is. I'm gonna go back to the main menu because it's really loud. Let's do Cleric. I haven't rated him in a while, so. Going to do Cleric cast. Manager. Fred. He is playing Project Zomboid. And there's just the two of us in here, I think. Or there might be another person, I don't know. Zomboid's always fun. Okay, cool. If not terrifying. Yeah, probably not something I would ever play myself, but I don't mind rating somebody who is playing it. And Cleric is a good dude. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap my stream up then. Have a good night, everyone. Once again, support indie devs. And have a wonderful night. The terrors and the exploring. Alright. I'll take your word for it. Okay. Quit that there. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.